What's up, YouTube? And I'm back at you with another video. And in this video, I'm going to do a preview and prediction for 5 SEC matchups this Saturday. A lot of SEC games playing and really interesting matchups. The first matchup I'm going to talk about is Alabama versus Vanderbilt. Now, this is a matchup uh, that could be very interesting in my opinion. Vanderbilt under Clark Lee has done a phenomenal job. This team has done kind of shocked some people. Was able to get a huge victory early on in the season for Vanderbilt. They played against, I'm not mistaken, let me see. Yeah, it was Virginia Tech. They beat Virginia Tech early on in the season. A lot of people didn't see that coming, but like I said, Vanderbilt under Clark Lee has done a phenomenal job so far this season. And in particular, it's this one guy that they have. They have several guys on their team, but the main guy is their quarterback, Diego Pavia. Diego could really give Alabama some problems. He's a mobile type quarterback. He can run and pass. We all know Alabama struggled with Byron Brown uh, when Alabama played USF. So he's same realm of type quarterback, and it's going to be very interesting. Uh, him going against Alabama's defense, like I said, and it's not just an Alabama thing. A lot of teams, tend to struggle with these type of quarterbacks in Pavia. And so far, he's thrown for 721 yards, has 6 touchdowns on the season. And he also is leading the pack in the rushing yards as well with 279 on the ground. He has 2 touchdowns. So Alabama's going to have to stop this running game. Like I said, Byron Brown gave him problems. Have they learned from that experience playing against Byron Brown against USF? It's going to be very interesting. Like I said, he might be able to extend some drives with his legs. So that's why I said it's going to be a very interesting matchup for Alabama. They also have Cedric Alexander. He has 217 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. They also got A.J. Newberry. He has 95 yards and 3 touchdowns. So this Vanderbilt team can run the ball. They're very good. They also have Eli Stowers at tight end. He has 220 yards. So definitely a guy that Alabama has to look out for. He has a touchdown. Quincy Skinner Jr. and Junior Sherrill, all those guys have a touchdown on the season. So very talented Vanderbilt team. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. Tackles, they have Langston Patterson. He's leading the pack with 29 tackles. And uh, Allen Wright at cornerback, he has an interception. So this Vanderbilt team, man, is very game. Alabama's going to have to come in this matchup being prepared. But if I had to give my prediction for this matchup, I'm picking Alabama to win. Let me go back and look at the spread. I think the spread for this game was like, where did I see it at? I think it's like 17 points or something like that. Could be wrong, but whatever the spread is, I think Vanderbilt can eventually, try keep it close in the earlier on parts of the game. But I think eventually Alabama's going to get the victory, and I think Alabama's going to be comfortable getting the victory. One thing I would like to see, though, on the Alabama's offense is them utilizing the running backs. I think they need to get that going. We got to have a run game outside of Jalen Miro. He did a phenomenal job against Georgia, but the majority of those rushing yards came from him on big plays. So we got to establish that run game. Alabama's running back room is really talented, and we want to get that established, especially when we play against tougher teams going forward. So uh, no disrespect to Vanderbilt, but I just feel like Alabama needs to establish the run and get that established, against Vanderbilt. Next matchup, big matchup, Auburn, it's going on the road to Athens, Georgia. Like I said, Georgia coming off a loss to Alabama, but had a huge comeback in the second half of the game. Really talented team. A lot of people getting down on Georgia, but Georgia is still a really decent team. Carson Beck proved that in the second half. He passed for over 400 something passing yards on the Alabama secondary. So this Georgia team, I feel like is going to come into this matchup. I think they're going to start off fast. The last couple of games, this season, they started off slow, had a very slow start. They found something in that second half against Alabama, and I think they're going to continue that. Kirby Smart is going to have that team, you know, humming offensively and defensively. I feel Auburn had some struggles this season. Actually, they had a pretty good game against Oklahoma last week. I was doing fine, but Auburn, for some reason, just always finds a way to lose games, and uh, they're one of the highest ranked teams as far as turnovers. They just, give the ball to the other team. So I feel like them playing against this Georgia team coming off a huge loss to Alabama, I feel like Auburn is in territory that they don't want to be in. I think it's going to be really, really tough for Auburn to pull this victory out, especially on the road. I'm picking Georgia, of course, to win this matchup, and I think Georgia's going to win it big. But you never know. This is the Deep South's oldest rivalry. You never know. Georgia could have a game on their hands with Auburn. Auburn seems to always get up for Alabama and Georgia, so we're going to see. But I got Georgia win this matchup, and I got them win it big. The next matchup we'll talk about is Tennessee versus Arkansas. And Tennessee has to go on the road once again. Um, Arkansas, I feel they're getting slightly better. Um, at quarterback, man, Tylen Green, so far he's thrown for 1,236 yards and 5 touchdowns, but he also has 5 interceptions. Can't turn the ball over. Got to be able to hold on to the ball. And Tennessee, I feel like, has one of the best defenses in the SEC right now. And they also have Nico at quarterback. This is going to be a test, I feel, for Nico. Arkansas's defense it's not great, but it's not really it's not too bad. But they're going to have to be able to contain Nico, I feel like, in this matchup. I feel like Tennessee is the better team out of the two by a good bit. Offensively, they have the type of offense that can stress out a defense, and I think that's going to be the equalizer in this matchup. Tennessee, I know Heupel, they're really, really good at scheming up, offense. And I think coming to this matchup, I think Heupel is going to be all about business. And I think he wants to prove to everybody that Nico, even though he's a freshman, that this Tennessee team can, perform on the big stage, and especially going on the road. They already went on the road and played against Oklahoma early in the season. I'm not sure if they got their tackles back. The tackles were missing in that matchup against Oklahoma. They get their tackles back, excuse me, it's going to be a really, really good matchup, I feel. But in the end, I got Tennessee winning. I just think it's going to take a great defensive effort to stop this Tennessee offense, man. They got a lot of playmakers on that side of the ball. Just a hard matchup, I feel. Now Arkansas has a good, players on their side as well. But in the end, I just feel like Tennessee is just going to be the team that's going to get it done. Sam Pittman, he's a really, really good, head coach. I feel he's a great guy, but I think he's going to take the L on this one. Like I said, Tennessee has Dylan Sampson. He has 449 yards on the ground rushing, 10 rushing touchdowns. Dante Thornton. I mean, they just have some lethal guys on the side. Brew McCoy. So I just feel like, Tennessee is going to pull it off. Comfortably, we're going to see. It all depends on how well the Arkansas defense plays, but I got Tennessee winning that matchup. Next matchup, Ole Miss versus South Carolina. This is a very interesting matchup. South Carolina blew out a Kentucky team, that Ole Miss lost to. Ole Miss lost to Kentucky. Kentucky was really, really good up front defensively. And a lot of people don't notice it, but Ole Miss has a great front, but their secondary seems like it's horrendous, man. And this is a hard matchup to pick, I feel. What Ole Miss team are we going to get? Ole Miss is very, very talented. They got a lot of great players. Jackson Dart, 1,815 yards passing, 13 touchdowns, with just 2 interceptions. But they had a lot of penalties in that matchup against Kentucky. Can they get that stuff cleaned up? That's going to be very, very interesting. But um, Sellers at quarterback for South Carolina, he only passed for 393 yards with 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. This is a hard matchup, man. I've seen some people picking South Carolina to get the upset, beat, Ole Miss, but I got faith in Ole Miss going on the road this time. I think they're going to get it done. I don't think South Carolina is going to be able to take advantage of, you know, Ole Miss's secondary. Like I said, Ole Miss's defensive front is really, really good. It's elite up front, and I think they're going to get enough pressure to be able to keep them in this game. And once that happens, man, I think Ole Miss is going to be able to put up some yards, man. Paris Jr., he has 489 yards on the season with 8 touchdowns. This Ole Miss team has a lot of playmakers. They got Trey Harris. He has 804 yards already. 800 yards. 804 yards receiving with 5 touchdowns. I just think Ole Miss is going to come in here. They're gonna pick it up. Coming off that loss to Kentucky, I think they're going to get everything put together, and I think they're going to get this victory against South Carolina. But this could be a matchup. I could be wrong about this. South Carolina could come in there and get this victory, but I just have faith that I think Lane Kiffin is going to find a way to get this victory in this matchup on the road. So I got Ole Miss winning that. And finally, Missouri Tigers versus Arkansas. I mean, not Arkansas, Texas A&M Aggies. I'm sorry. Right now, a lot of people got Missouri winning this matchup. Missouri, like I said, just come off a real, real tough, hard-fought battle against Vanderbilt. That's kind of concerning to me. I thought Missouri, in my opinion, was going to be a whole lot better on Eli Drinkwitz. Of course, they got Luther Burden at wide receiver. Um, I'm not sure, man. This is I thought the Ole Miss and South Carolina game matchup was going to be kind of hard to pick. This is a hard one to pick for me. But if I had to give my opinion of who I think is going to win this matchup, I think, and this is actually on the road in College Station, so Missouri has to go on the road. This is a really, really hard matchup that I have to pick. But if I had to pick, I think Texas A&M is going to win this matchup. Like I said, a lot of hype around Missouri. But like I said, they had some questionable games that kind of made me wonder, like, hey, what's going on with Missouri? Let me see. They beat, let me see. Yeah, they had a tough, close matchup. They beat Boston College. Huge victory for Missouri. Like I said, turned around and played Vanderbilt and went into 2 overtimes against Vanderbilt. That's kind of concerning to me, And I know Texas A&M is breaking in a new coach and things like that, but I think overall Texas A&M has the better talent. They got some guys, Moss, Le'Veon Moss. This guy's a beast of a player, 471 yards with 3 touchdowns. I just think they're going to get it done. Marcel Reed at quarterback, passing yards, he has 585 yards with 6 touchdowns. I mean, some really, really good players. Cyrus Allen, 203 yards with 1 touchdown. I think Texas A&M has more playmakers. I think they're going to get it done at home. Missouri's going to take a loss. Like I said, that Vanderbilt game kind of has me worried about Missouri, But I got Texas A&M winning that matchup. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Once again, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys. Roll Tide.